This is a big one. I want to introduce this, and some strange stuff has happened to me these last couple of years. I have had a mix of insights. One thing that has happened for me is that I have the insights and my life is never the same afterward. And then I go and find the proof point of those insights in other people's work and creation. Now, I'm afraid, because I know from my time in marketing, when we're trying to understand what changes mass behavior, right, that confirmation bias is a real thing. And if the words are starting to get a bit too technical, then just consider those who might be on Facebook or, I don't know, whatever digital thing is created in the future that allows people to connect in an artificial environment. At the moment, it's Facebook and a bunch of other apps. You guys know that Facebook or TikTok or whatever they are continue to serve you up the same stuff that you're looking for, right? Let's say drinking your own Kool-Aid or Powerade or whatever it is, right? It keeps giving you what you think you like as if that is all that's out there. So I'm really aware that, no, that's a lie. I'm not really aware. I get glimpses of awareness from time to time that the pond that I am in at the moment is not all there is, but it's enough for me to swim beyond the boundaries of where I used to reside. So I'm sticking with it until I outgrow this pond. So I'm saying all that because I get that I'm going to keep getting served up the stuff that I see. Some of the stuff that has gone on for me was before I found it in the works of other human beings. And then other stuff has been profound in creating spaces for me to have new insights, kind of like stimulus from the outside in, right? None of them can give me those insights though, they just create the space. One of those things that I have pressure tested as much as I can in this small blip of my life that is the last couple of years is the work of Sydney Banks, and it's known as the 3 principles. I will refer to some of the insights I've either had and then had reinforced by that work, or have considered as I opened my mind to what Sid Banks has shared and then found it in my life. So there is no one way that this works. Sometimes you have amazing, miraculous changes in how you see yourself and others, and then you realize you're not the only one. And then at other times, you listen to enough people. You don't follow them, but you listen to them, and if you can let go of your way being the only way, you may actually start to find that there's bigger truth out there that pulls more of us together. So, damn, that's a long explanation. Thanks for hanging in there. I'm sharing some information from Sid Banks, and it's not Sid Banks, because he's about to, if you listen to his work, he'll say it came from people before him, and those people will say it came from people before them, and ultimately it all came from the same source. So here it is, jeepers. Separate realities, right? We live in separate realities, every single human being. And this is what blows my mind, despite the fact that every human being sees this world and themselves and each other differently, we still are able to connect and experience love and interdependence with other human beings. That's why I know that love is bigger than the self. It has to be. Right? I love connecting with people. I hope for those of you that are listening to this that you write to me or call me and tell me what you want to get out of this. Right? I'll just keep going, but I hope this is plugging into your heart somewhere. So we live in separate realities, right? What is true for you is not always true for me. And while ever we continue to operate at the level of individual or self, we are unlikely to encounter the truth, right? Yet when we awaken beyond the illusion of being a separate self or an other, then we can start to see a universal reality. So Sid Banks would talk about it and saying there is personal thought, right, or personal truth, and then there is universal thought and universal truth, right, that does not know the boundaries of individuality, right, transcends them. Other people would say it's the big picture that you've heard, right, and that's what love is. right? Love cannot be severed. Love cannot be contained at all, except for your individual level of thinking. That's all. So when you realize that every separate self is equally a separate reality and the power of connection prevails, then you create, right? That is what it means to love one another. It's to defy the perceptual boundaries of time and distance through the power of unfiltered connection, right? I am no sooner gone when you are listening to this, if this exists, right, in whatever time and reality you're in right now. I'm probably gone, right? I hope so. I mean, maybe that means I created something that was worth listening to for a little while. So even if I am gone from this world right now and you are listening to this, what I am sharing, or I really hope I am sharing with you, is connecting with you, right? And as you listen to this, my physical body may be gone, but my presence is undeniable. I am with you, and I am sharing things for you with love for you. And if you are experiencing that now, or even if you're just catching a glimpse of it, how can it be, right, that you are able to experience the love of someone or something when they are gone? It makes sense to me when you think about music. And I have heard a lot of music that was created a long time ago that I'm hearing for the first time, that is moving me. And most of the people that created that music, they're dead. Yet I still feel moved by them and their creation, right? Not because the song itself has any particular attributes, right, that allow it to imbue me with feelings. All it is a bunch of electrical signals that are now stored on some sort of digital device. But what someone created in the past can transcend the boundaries of time by allowing you to connect with it today. I think that we're getting closer to God in that sense. You don't have to go back to find God, and you don't have to imagine it in the future, right? God is here, now, always. Always. So Sid Banks, a few people have paraphrased the work of the three principles, and this has helped me so much. Man, I hope it helps you. The way that you are feeling is a barometer for the quality of your thinking, right? I never understood this, but because we live in a separate reality and an inside-out nature, right? We project what's going on inside of ourselves out to the outside world, and then the outside world looks to us, even though we think it's true. The outside world looks to us as we are inside, right? If you want to see and experience a more loving world, create love in yourself, right? And you will see it out there, everywhere, right? If you want to find God and what that really means out there, listen to it inside yourself, right? So feelings as barometer for the quality of our thinking. Whenever I am in a low mood, I never understood that how I feel emotionally, I'm not talking the five senses, right, but my emotions can always be tracked to either a conscious or a unconscious thought that I am having in the moment. So if I'm feeling low or angry or frustrated, which, trust me, it happens, I now know to be able to say, hey, what thought am I attaching to right now that is causing me to feel that way? And just being able to recognize that, and then particularly examine whether or not my thought is true, brings me peace, right? And equally, if I am feeling loving and joyous and positive and hopeful, I will have those types of thoughts, right? I will be having quality, high quality thoughts, and on the, I don't want to say rare occasion, but on the beautiful occasions that I don't have personal thought at all, I just rest in the indescribable. I cry. Gratitude, because I can't describe it. You can only see the outcome of it, and I'm so humbled by this love. It's incredible. So back on to if this is it and I do have to go, before I go, for my kids or for those of you, this may or may not serve you well, but hook into some of the work of the 3 principles. Most of it's free, there are plenty of books out there. Sid Banks and Michael Neal, I'll just tell you, all they are doing is taking old wisdom and putting it into words that may help connect with people today, right? And none of them will ever lay claim to it being their own. I can't, right? That's crazy. Because if you try and box this stuff in and contain it, it no longer is what you're trying to share with people. It's something else. So don't consider humans to be gurus or people to follow. Just don't do it, right? You can start to hear the truth in someone when they say, don't follow me, because if a single person proclaims to be the source of truth now, and that you are dependent upon them, their body goes, see you later. Then what? You don't know the truth anymore, right? You always have it with you. You've always got it. And people and things just come into your lives at the right time to point you back to it. And I hope this podcast is doing that for you. So hook in, right, to the 3 principles, or not, right? And it'll be confusing. Stop trying to understand it with your head. It took me ages. Get out of this brain of mine. I've kind of mentioned, beware of anyone who says this way is what you must do, or that there is a thought system that you have to participate in order to be whole or loved. I have read deeply and widely, and I have searched my soul, and I've cried out to God, and I have witnessed miracles. And I promise you this, many, many inspired creations are able to hold the compass and an echo of true love, but none of them will contain it, right? Only you can know for yourself where this is coming from. So I mentioned it in the last episode, there are an infinite number of ways that you can hear just enough to find what you're looking for, but do not make the mistake of thinking that it is imbued or contained to one thing, right? Listen for love, listen for hope and selflessness, and all the things that deep down are really what are for you in this life. Listen for those things, and if you are finding that in what you are creating or who you are with or what you are doing, keep going, right? Until it doesn't make sense to do that anymore. There is no one way, right? Paradoxically there is, but there isn't. And I love paradox. I'll do a bit on that. I have found God and love and truth everywhere. Not all the time, because I've had times of low thinking, but I can tell you, back to this thing, what is inside you becomes what is created outside you, your reality. And I have had those moments, and I know that when you glimpse them, you can't go back. So I tell you, God and the truth is everywhere, right? Everywhere. So that's why I'm sharing some sources with you, but do not make the mistake that any of these texts or things that I mention are it, right? They are nothing more than an incredible exclamation of it. So this is it. If true love is freedom, then no thing and no one will proclaim their way is the right way. Right? True love can only be experienced in one true place, and that is home. Right? I'm learning that the truth speakers tend to live out love in a few ways, right? And although these are not rules that the truth speakers follow or constants, it's just my experience, right? And this is the first thing. They don't want to be followed. They don't want to be right. And they don't want to make you feel that you are inferior or that they are superior to you, right? If you find someone who is speaking to you with a sense of superiority or that they know better, check yourself first to whether you're creating a feeling that you're inferior. That's not true. But the truth speakers, they don't want you to become dependent upon them, right? Because then you are buying into something that is not what they're trying to point you towards, right? They don't want your allegiance. They don't want a religion to be created by them. They don't want anything that could exclude one human being and conditionally welcome another. They know that they're just a glimpse of truth, right? But not truth itself. So, yeah, I love it. Sid Banks says it, right? Just don't become a follower. Goodness me. Whoever you're following on social media, like, stop following them. Just, I don't know, appreciate their creation and move on, right? So all of the words, the books, the practices, the songs, the poems, the quotes, the paintings, the creations and the stories that I share with you from herein, if I'm lucky enough to be alive, are nothing more than a compass, right? That's it. Don't put more stock in what is created, right, than you need to. They're just compasses, and they will all point in the same direction, right? I've seen it. I've seen the arts and the sciences and philosophy. I've seen it in religion, in every man-made creation or category of creation that exists, right? I've seen it everywhere, and I've seen it in every human being. And underneath all of these unique forms that it takes is the same loving essence, right? It's beyond words and images, right? It's beyond what is created. But mate, what a gift that we get to have a crack at articulating this incredible love over and over again, right? So no one who speaks the truth will lay claim to the truth. I'll say that again. No one who speaks the truth will lay claim to the truth. You can't claim something that is already yours, right? There's no claims department for love, right? You already have it. I laugh at my job sometimes because I think this is the craziest business model where I am pointing people back to what they already have. And sometimes they're gracious enough to pay me money to do that, right? So I can keep feeding my family. That's got to be a miracle, right? But it's worth it. It's worth people's investment of themselves and their time and their assets to come back home and be reminded of who they are and what they're capable of. Right? You can't claim what is already yours, right? That would, if you're trying to claim the truth, that would be to believe that you are separate from it. It's got to be something out there or over there that you can go and get, right? And you can't do that because you already got it, right? It's a very funny thought to hold on to, right? That you could be separate from the truth, that you're trying to find it. I love it. The truth will set you free, right? It's true. So many cliches. I used to just egotistically laugh at them. And now I get them, just in a different way. And I hope to continue to see new ways of understanding in the future, right? If that exists, which it doesn't, of course. But for now, the truth will set you free because it's not beholden to any things, right? Or anything. And neither are you. You are free. You are free. You're in these prisons and the key was inside the cell the whole time. And we just keep looking at the guards outside as if the keys on their belts are what we need to try and reach out desperately to grab. The jolly keys inside the cell the whole time. The door opens from the inside out. Alright. I've already mentioned this. What you read does not matter as much as knowing where it is coming from, right? So again, if you feel the presence of life itself, of love, of oneness, of understanding and compassion, if you feel the overwhelming, humbling nature of grace and of healing inside you, if you experience that, then listen to it deeply, right? All of these humans and all of these creations are for you, right? They're pointing you home, but only you can accept the invitation to walk through that door. I mentioned it at the top, don't be a victim of your circumstance. No one is going to walk for you, right? The invitations are there, right? The compasses are immense. You have to walk. You have to do it. There are so many things, right? The Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, Diamond Sutra, Torah, the Tao Te Ching, music or art, nature, science. I mean, if you look in the eyes of another human being that is in love, right? They are all guides. If you can go beyond your personal sight, your personal thoughts, your personal beliefs and ideas, you will find what you are looking for. Separate realities, right? If you realize that everyone, or 8 billion people, are operating in separate realities, then the only thing that unifies us is the idea and the understanding that we aren't separate, right? So don't let these sources that we all turn to divide. If it pulls you closer to yourself, your true self, and to love and to other human beings, hook in, munch, munch, munch. Delicious, right? Thanks so much for listening and sharing this space with me. I really, really hope this has served you well and it continues to do so for years to come. I love helping others, so if you would like to experience the power of creating together, please reach out to me. I'm here to help. And if you want to be on the podcast and leave a legacy, check out the contact details on my website, lyndenrochford.com, or you can find me on Facebook. I'd love to hear your story before I go. Wishing you so much love from the inside out. I'll see you soon.